Okay, let's do this. I'm ready. We doing this? I wasn't ready? Alright, okay, I'm gonna go offline and get ready again. Hey Kayla, good to see you. How you doing? Oh, my head's in the way. Although I should open the folder and then maybe it won't be in the way. Come on. That just not work? Oh, I know what's happened. Let me do that again. And I don't know how to do that, so I'm gonna restart. Well, it didn't start well. We'll get there. Now we're talking. Hey, Jägermaster. Yeah, cool. So now we hit build. Okay, cool. So now we've got, so we're at the point where we've got the sister on the altar, we've got the bone collector here. I started with his dialogue, but actually I finished it yesterday, so I can just plop that in. And then start implementing this stuff. Does that open in Atom? I think it does. Can you open it in Visual Studio Code? There we go. Okay. Right, so all we need to do is just paste that over. So actually that probably would have been easier to just open, because we've got the files here. So live and learn. In any case, we should now be able to talk a hell of a lot more to this guy. That's my sister. Stay away from her, fiend. See the sweat from your bones. Oh, interesting. So I think this is like his NPC setup is really old. So it's kind of accidentally worked out. Yeah. Cool. So I'll need to update the way that guy works. We'll use the NPC template, I think. Replace whatever he's got going. It is old. I don't think any of it's been set up really. Oh yeah, I think I did that myself actually just the other day. Okay, now we good. So he is Bone Collector. We are going to add in a reference to him. So this goes in the dialogue controller, I think. Yeah. So we're going to do a couple of things here. So the first thing is we're going to trigger the bone instruction, I think. Bone Collector has, okay, so that's unlock quest 25. So if, where does that happen? That's 7? 9? So if the dialogue target is equal to, it's weird how that, it's very distracting, that those green underlines. Yeah, it's fine. If the dialogue target is Bone Collector 10, then unlock quest. So that's pretty neat. Didn't need that anywhere. So what does that say? Unlock quest. Function unlock quest. Quest ID number suppress log. Cool. Kayla, thank you very much. 45 bits. I really appreciate that. I think you've single-handedly almost reached the bit target. No, that's a lie actually. Artsplunge and Jeremy have and Sizzler and Brave Duck, and I'm a Purple Tiger. So there's some people, but Kayla, you've given lots of bits. That's cool. I can't believe Artsplunge gave the bits when I was trapping that mouse. I feel like that was longer than a month ago. It's crazy. Teamwork, yeah, exactly. Right, so unlock quest happens there. That's fine. That's all we need for that one, I think. We need to after giving the roll bones, animate the bones. So that should set the narrative state there. So if dialogue target is equal to Bone Collector something. Bone Collector. Have I missed something here? Okay, that should happen there. So on 13, I'm going to have to get used to these autocompletes because they're not the same as Atom. It's throwing me off a little bit. So if the dialogue target is Bone Collector 13, then bones delivered but sister is already alive. Give one shot instead. So it's not the target, it's when the dialogue ID is 13. I think give, no. So that isn't a global function, should be maybe. So we do that by quest, I think. Hey Fletcher, how you doing? Same thing should be happening here. Bones/stone delivered. Okay, this triggers. So on 15. Set quest narrative, quest 25 narrative ID 2, I think. Yep. Bones delivered, stone requested. So this will be on 16 is where we get the stone. What's the next one? He animated the bones, the skeleton killed them. That'll be on 22. Kind of frustrated, trying to learn home row touch typing, but I'm clearly placing / holding my hands wrong because it's so awkward. Yeah, see, like, well, you've got years and years and years of practicing the wrong way, so it's gonna be really tough to relearn that. I'm good. I'm pretty tired because I slept terribly last night, so that sucks. And I guess I'm going through a similar thing with using VS Code because it's different than Atom, and it's bugging me at times. But there's good parts about it too. Yeah, I realized I have about like 10 years of typing the wrong way to unlearn, I guess. Are you finding VS Code? It was doing something really weird just a moment ago. Like, see if I can reproduce it. So if I like start typing if, yeah, that's winding me up right now. Like I'm just in the middle of writing this. It's not, I don't need to have all this highlighted. I don't know what it's telling me, those squiggly greens. Empty block, diagnostics. Don't want it. Anyway, so far that's bugging me. I don't know if that's a setting somewhere. Probably don't want to turn it off. Should do that on save, not as you type. Is that a setting? Because if it's, do you know what it's called? Because then I could search for it. Like I'm alright with certain stuff could be highlighted. I don't know exactly what, but I certainly don't want it all the time. So that's all the triggers. So let's go here. When you hovered over it, said diagnostics because it's probably searchable under that. That's a good idea. Check your debugging stuff. How did you do that again? Settings, diagnostics. See, that's the language, isn't it? Lua. Diagnostic, disable diagnostic, use code and hover brackets. Diagnostic severity. How do we, I want to go to just Lua. Give me all Lua. I'll do, I guess. Diagnostics disable. That sounds like it's doing it. Shouldn't this like give me some information? Like let's check out the, because I have the GitHub link. Just want to know what the settings are, you know? Seems like a reasonable request. Was there an error? It was. One collector. Hash sprites not any property called blend. Ah, that's fine. That's easy fix. Let's check this over here. Some settings aren't visible in the UI. Feature, okay. Diagnostics. Right, so yeah, that's a thing. Oh, disable diagnostics, is that, did I see that already? If there you go. No. It's quick fix. Clear all post them to disable diagnostics, trailing space. Ah, so you can disable specific ones. Empty block. Does that pop into settings? Because that would be cool. No. Workspace. Okay, that's scary because how do I undo that? Uh-oh. Well, I didn't want that anyway, so I guess we're good, but I don't like that I can't undo it or see it. Anyway, heck that diagnostic. What's this? Global variable in lowercase initial. What? Oh, that's just like a Lua style thing, I guess? Nah. No to that. I'm okay with disabling that. Okie dokie. Yeah, let's fix the NPC sprite. What should his material be? I can't remember. Let's take one that we know works, like this one. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Here's blend, color, burn. Okie dokie. Okay, so that should have taken care of the error. Yeah, I don't know what animation is trying to play. 57 of it. Animation 10. Mad. Should figure out what that is as well. It's my sister. Do anything? Yes. Kind of experiments. Who can? Where can I find real bones? I haven't added the quests, so that's not gonna work. Let us. Is that open already? Yeah, I can find it in here. Quest variable loader. Need all of these quest narratives. Excuse me. Surely, when we paste, that should be automatic. Huh? How'd the burst of writing inspiration go yesterday? I was pretty exhausted by the end of it, but I got loads done. It was a very intense day. Which is it was good, but it's also scary because I'm gonna have to keep doing that for a long time. So, but I think as time goes on, I'm getting more efficient and more motivated rather than less, which is good. But it's gonna be, I don't know, am I gonna be burned out by the end of it? I don't know. And then it was it's a super optional quest, so I kind of poured my heart and soul into it yesterday, and then I was like, I don't know how many people are going to experience this. Which is like, I guess it makes it cooler for those that do experience it, but at the same time I'm like, should I be putting this much effort into it? I'm leaning towards yes, but the cynical part of me is like, why? Especially if it doesn't sell well, then I'll burn myself out for not nothing, because I think it'll be worth it. Even if nobody buys this game, I think it'll be good. Like, I'll like playing it, I guess. So that's a good sign. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm tired. Anything? What do you need? Where can I find all bones? There you go. So we have the quest now. I should add all these things that I need. Even if no one buys it, you've made something expansive, no one can take that away. Exactly. Like, I'm happy to joke and self-deprecate and stuff, but like, seriously, this is art. Even if it's not to anyone else's taste, I'm gonna be proud of it. And that's that. So you think, what do you think? Why are you undefined global hash? Mark hash is defined global. I want to disable that diagnostic. I'll leave it for now. I need to think about it. What does it mean to define a global? Does it mean, if it means I'm telling the diagnostic about hash being part of the language, then yes, that's what I want to do. If I'm telling it that hash is a variable that I'm using, it's not true. So hell yeah, though obviously it would be really good if it did do well, because then more games, also known as I want to buy a game. Yeah, exactly, and I want to make more games, for sure. So I don't think pirate game is coming, but the stuff I'm spinning in my head is pretty similar. I don't think I would end up doing the pirate theme, but that's kind of just the skin, if that makes sense. But I'm thinking of things kind of like that. That would be kind of cool. But yeah, I would love to make more games. Like, this is super hard, but it's the most fulfilling as well, so. I'm just really emotional today, aren't I? Just the lack of sleep. And probably the music as well. Piano, what even is this? Donkey Kong? Yeah, that'll do. That'll set me off. Anyway, on the HUD. Bones. Are there things you do differently in the next project, like stuff you've learned that's too much effort for little return to do in this one, but you'd 100% do next time? There's things that I'm learning. I have such a massive respect for writers now in games. Like, that is taking tons of time and it's really difficult. Like, I think I've trivialized writing before in my own projects, I think the writing in this isn't going to be stellar. It's not gonna, it's not gonna be revolutionary or anything. I'm hoping that it's sufficient to carry the atmosphere I'm going for and that kind of stuff, and like allow the player to fill in the blanks themselves in a way that kind of gives them a good experience. But what I'm learning is that this handcrafted narrative is extremely expensive to produce because it takes a long time to do, and it's complicated because I went for this kind of open world, but still with a plot line in it, so it all has to hang together even though the player can do anything in any order, which is kind of ambitious, but it's gonna work. But it's just gonna take a lot of effort. What I was finding with the pirate game was I was doing the opposite. I was gonna completely rely on should I hire Rhianna Pratchett? She does game writing and Terry Pratchett's daughter. I think she did the new Tomb Raider games. Yeah, I mean, if I had the money, sure. But what I was trying to do with the pirate game was kind of the opposite, and have totally rely on procedural generation, if it could even be called that, because it was very weak. It was just like randomized names stuck on one of like 12 island templates that each had like a bar or a blacksmith or whatever, and they all looked identical. And I'm just like, I could tell a couple of months in, I was like, this is not going to be fun for a long time. Like, as in, it might be fun for a little bit, but then once you've been in your 10th pub and they all look the same, you're just like, eh. So I need to find a middle ground. I'm going to enjoy the writing for this, but I think, next time I'm going to probably do something that's less writing intensive. Maybe try and do something smart with combining like procedural generation with writing. I've seen some good examples done on like Game Maker's Toolkit and stuff like that. Maybe draw some inspiration from that kind of stuff. Try to place a little bit more of the burden on the player's shoulders, but hopefully in a way that would actually allow them to have a better experience as well. I don't know. Is it in the story? Yeah. Exactly. What are you, Mr. Bones? Early one, I think. 11. So that's Bones. I called this Vortex Stone, but I don't actually know what the flavor name is going to be. I'll call it Magical Stone for now. Sims and RimWorld achieve that by using icons and moodlets or summaries of interactions as opposed to exactly what happened. Yeah, that's one of the vague ideas I have in my head is I'm not definitely gonna make a sci-fi game, but I picture like this. I picture you're on a spaceship and you basically encounter aliens and other spaceships, and you communicate, but you communicate with essentially emojis like smiles and hearts and skull and crossbones and exclamation marks and question marks and that kind of stuff. So like no writing, but just kind of I guess symbols and behaviors. So someone shows you a smiley face and then gives you something that looks like a gift, and it probably is, but then in the game you could have deception. So you could say that they do that to earn your trust, and then you trust them, but then they'll betray you later on. I don't know, just stuff like that spinning in my head. I'm like, that could be really good, could be really bad, but it's interesting for sure. It would take less time than writing it. 14. Let's just add the key as well. Yeah, if you pull it off, it could be good. Exactly. Well, it would be a minor part of something bigger, I think. I was thinking of that, and I was also thinking of the Nemesis system from that Lord of the Rings Mordor or something game. I don't know if you've heard of that, but that seems really, really cool. So I was thinking of like having. So this was another idea I had, which was, well, it's not really in my idea, but basically it would be the Nemesis system just like fit to whatever game I'm making. So just have, you know, that would kind of create the story, because if you had an encounter with an NPC, then you just need to kind of categorize that somehow. You know, it was a fight and you used poison weapons on them, then they could use that to taunt you. And then you could write. I was just thinking of a system where you have like. So I'm trying to avoid the stuff they did in Skyrim, where like after playing it for half an hour, you already know the line about "I used to be an adventurer like you, but then I took an arrow in the knee." So I was thinking like, you know, you could randomly generate text like sentences by like creating dictionaries of words and phrases and stuff. And then randomly combining them. But then I was thinking like you'd use like, for a greeting, you'd use like hello, hey, hi, and then you're running out of words, you'd be like howdy, ahoy, and like weird ones. So I'm thinking, well, that would kind of, you know, your third ahoy, and you'd be like, right, this is all just randomized generation kind of thing. So like you'd have to have some kind of like weighting on the words. So if it's something like hello or hey, you'd be like, this one is okay to appear lots because it's normal. But something like howdy, you'd have to put like, this is like really rare or something like that. Dwarf Fortress in default. I need to play or watch a Let's Play of Dwarf Fortress because it's like legendary thing. I know of it. I know roughly what it is, but I've never played it or seen it played. So most people would use the same greeting. Yeah, so that's why I wouldn't want to just, you know, because if you just advise watching as opposed to, I would almost certainly be watching, yes, because I don't have the time to get into it. And it seems really complicated, so probably not gonna. But that seems, from what I think, what I know about it, it seems like really good at creating a system that the players can basically make their own story out of, because it's really, yeah, really complicated in a good way. There's a lot of possibilities with your creativity kind of stuff. So the skeleton key is going to be a lit one. I don't even know if I've added that. Skeleton key is 31. So I'm going to add bones, vortex stone, and skeleton key. I've heard the story of getting started with Dwarf Fortress. Nice. I've heard the story of, I can't remember, it was dwarves, boozy dwarves kind of made the cats drunk and die or something. It was something weird like that, and it was like very strange, but also I was like, that's a great game if it makes stuff like that happen, I think. Have you seen the game Kenshi? I have not. Game. Lo-fi games. Kenshi, an open-ended squad-based RPG. Well, it's pretty. Let me drag it over so you guys can see what I'm looking at. I have Kenshi, had it since it first dropped on EA, haven't played it since then. Or early access. What is Kenshi? A free-roaming, squad-based PC game with RPG elements focusing on open-ended sandbox gameplay features rather than a linear story. Choose to be a thief, bandit, rebel, warlord, or mercenary. You can be a trader, doctor, peacekeeper, businessman, explorer, mere slave. List goes on, but you've got to stay alive first. I've had this actual idea. Not, you know, this is such an obvious idea. I think the problem is always going to be the execution. Kayla, thank you very much for the bits again. You get 3 hugs. That the list goes on, but you've got to stay alive first. Is that the most important? Still working on it, that's good. 1.0, oh, so it's like out, I guess. Show me a trailer, please. I mean, it sounds badass, but it's all about the execution. 10,000 positive reviews, that's pretty good. Very positive, I mean. Trying to stay alive in that game is so difficult. Well, you kind of would have, it has to be like that. That to me is already a sign that they're doing it right, because if it wasn't difficult, then everybody would end up being the king, because, you know, like just inflation and stuff like that. Like, it needs to be hard just to be alive. It sets the baseline, I think. Okay, that looks dark as hell. Beep. To be hunted. Food for the cannibals. Whoa, this is a dark world. Yeah, you'd need to have a squad. Lose your squad. No, thank you. Jeez, what are these guys? This game is dark. Rescue your squad. That's some lightness there. And it's got like RTS elements there as well. Holy heck. This is ambitious as heck. Wow. Well, yeah, that's, you know what, I should probably watch some of that and have it put me off doing anything similar, because it's insanity. It took 6 years in early access and many years before that. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Good on them for, like, that's impressive motivation and persistence. I love that one line in the feature list, "You're not the chosen one." It's awesome. Like, that's really cool. I'm really impressed with what they're doing. So we want bones. Prefer games like that. I want more games like that. Well, I want to make something like that. Way smaller and simpler, but I love the idea. It's really inspiring. Like, there's few things cooler than like coming up with some kind of you know, clever idea in a game that no one's come up with, or it doesn't even matter as long as it feels like no one's come up with it before. And that game will have loads of those opportunities. We got bones, magical stone, skeleton key. It's cool. I have an idea for a game as deep as that with solid combat mechanics, but it would be like a 10-year plus project. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I need to watch Animal Crossing, because I don't know enough about it, but I feel like there must be something there that's interesting, because I just don't know anything about it, but it just seems different from what I usually make, because I always have violence in some way, and I'm just thinking if, like, is that a crutch? Like the flower game I made for this Ludum Dare was, you know, unusual, because it didn't have any violence in it. It just feels like it's so simplistic to always be fighting. I don't mind, but it's just, I'm wondering if I'm limiting myself. Lots of numbers and letters. Hello, neglected boy. There is, yes. Free person. Animal Crossing is like a little Sims game. I actually emailed them once about adding burglary. They responded saying that A, they couldn't take the idea because of legal reasons, and B, the game was not that kind of game. That's cool that they responded, and we know so thoroughly, not just thanks for the idea and then just bin it. I am drawn to, I really at some point want to make a Sims or Tamagotchi kind of like game, or even Pokemon type. They're all like kind of swirling around in my head as a similar concept, even though they're quite different from each other. That's really tempting as well. So let me check for this. Yes, I want to make a Sims game too. Like, I've got several complaints about Sims, and at one point read through loads of reviews and have so many ideas on what I'd do better, but time and commitment. Thanks to Command Fletcher. Fates of War is my own game, yes. I'm working on it right now. Right now. Bones, Vortex. There you go. I have so many ideas. I actually don't have that many ideas. Ideas tend to be very free flowing with people. That tends to be what the most that people have. But I think maybe it's because I culled them before I let them go anywhere, because I think, nah, that's not realistic, or that sucks, or whatever. Yeah, I think the gist of my Sims would be the context of Sims meets the event-driven story of RimWorld. I'm not familiar with... Right, I should write down all the things we're talking about. So I should check out Kenshi, Dwarf Fortress, RimWorld, Animal Crossing. What else did we discuss that I said I wanted to look at? Are you publishing it yourself, if you don't mind me asking? Yes, I am. That's the plan anyway. Unless I get some super mega deal proposed by someone. Don't think there's anything else. Hey Lude Malone, how you doing? RimWorld is made in Unity by Tynan. It has different story AI that throw events on you depending on your current situation. That's pretty cool. It seems like it's probably done better than Fates of War, but it seems like a thing that I do sometimes. We might change in states, but we might change narratives or something. Anyway, so if we do bones, then we want to trigger a dialogue, that's for sure. Beyond tired. I did level design for my game. It's not my strong suit, so I've been sitting here 7 hours and I'm not even done yet for a 3D game. Well, that's cool. It's good that you've put so much effort in. Good job. I'm pretty tired today as well. That's just from lack of sleep, not from actually working. For example, if you've just been raided and are struggling to recover, they may make drops and give you free recruits, unless it's a difficult storyteller who may just throw another raid at you. Interesting, so they've got like I see what you mean now. So, right, so it's like basically like a simulated dungeon master, kind of. I'm pretending if I keep putting time in it, it will eventually look decent. It probably will. Maybe not if you're so tired, but like maybe you should take a break at some point. Come back with it. Come back at it a little bit fresher. We just saw your trailer. It looks finished. Did you do the music too? No. So the music is done by Watery Tart. He usually hangs out in chat, but he's not here right now. So I've done basically Watery Tart is doing the music. And I've got an artist who's doing the art and graphics and stuff, and I'm doing everything else, which is coding, story, writing, and marketing and all this kind of stuff. Artist. Thanks, Fletcher. What would you say to someone who wants to do the art and code and music himself? There's nothing inherently wrong with that. It's possible, difficult, possible, yeah. I mean, look at... I can't remember what the guy's name was, but the guy who made Cave Story, he made code and story and art and music all by himself. So, all depends on the scope of your game. Yeah, exactly. Realistically, however, I would say that sounds like a bad idea, but possible, sure. What the heck did I do there? I think I did. No, it's there. How long have you been working on this as a team of 3? About just over a year and a half now. I think it'll take a total of 2.5 to finish. And that's going to be, the last year is going to be hard. Slacking in the beginning, you need to pick up the pace. But yeah, doing everything myself just takes flipping ages. I hear ya. Also, hello, you might get to see. I'm not actually calling that function, am I? That's long full time. Yes. Wendybeard does most of his stuff apart from music, but he's also using an engine which doesn't use a programming language, as he's more of an artist. I see. That's cool. I started watching Flamecast. I don't know if you've seen it, Fletcher, but it's quite good. You can always do placeholder art if you're more of a coder than bring an artist on later. Yeah, I would say that for sure. Because the game should be fun anyway. If the game isn't good without the graphics, it's unlikely that it's good with graphics. Of course, that's possible. You know, they've got like walking simulators, you know. Flamecast about the podcast with Wendy and Tober. It is. Alright, yeah, I just needed to actually call it. That's it. If you could do an educational estimate of a game like Subnautica for one person, how long would it take? Yeah. Subnautica is a tricky one because I've actually played it for once. That's a game I've actually played. Usually, the kind of my mantra on this is like, oh, I've heard of that, but I've never played it. But I've actually played Subnautica, and it's a weird one because I know there was loads of people working on it, and for some reason, I know I'm wrong, but for some reason it just felt like this didn't need that many people. But then I know that they like handcrafted the whole thing, like it wasn't procedurally generated or anything, I think. 20 employees by Unknown Worlds, and it was like they took years to do it. So on your own, that would take you your whole life, basically, probably. I guess. It's weird. I'm finding I'm ridiculously bad at estimating workloads, so I'm probably not the best person to ask, but I would say a long time for something like Subnautica. There goes my tune. Well, that tends to be the problem with new people, is they want to do a game. They don't want to make a small game. They want to make the game that's their favorite, which is like Subnautica or I don't know, like Baldur's Gate or Zelda or something. I don't know. And it's just way too ambitious. And look at me. I've bitten off more than I could chew. I will finish this, but yeah, that's all I gotta say. An exhalation of air. Listed, they have 1 designer, 4 programmers, 3 artists, 1 writer, and 1 composer. Just putting my bits on someone who works hard to reach his goals now make me into an Easter egg. Crude Castle, thank you very much. It's been way too long. How are you doing? I'm pretty sure you're already on the credits list, but I'm going to double check. They always start with an MMORPG. It's the best first project, yeah. Crude Castle, you're like number 4 on the list. So you were here at the beginning. You were here early. Can I get bits for wishful thinking? You wish. Okay, that was wrong. Hello all, I'm fine, just working and managing my life, making it better and happier. Awesome! That's what I like to hear. Quests. Misc info. Any something? 5. As of right now, it's on a complete halt, but thinking about going back to it and working on it at least for a couple of hours a week. Yeah, that's kind of a comforting thing for me. Is if I fail with this, then I'll get a job like a normal person, and I'll do games on the side, basically. By the way, I've never touched code and this looks like hell. Well, I've got news for you about your Subnautica project. I'm joking. Actually, there's ways to do great things without any code. Like Unreal Engine's Blueprint stuff is like visual scripting, so you don't need to do this. This isn't even that bad, and it's not even particularly good code. People would call this scripting, I guess, because it's more logic rather than like proper programming. Where'd you get with it in the end? I think the last stream I remember, which was a while ago, was you were looking at the visual cone and waypoints. I think I vaguely remember this, but I don't think I really caught any of Crude's streams. That was probably like when I was just beginning on Twitch. The right thing in every case is comment out your coding. Wait, comment out the coding or comment like about it? Because commenting it out, like, if I do this, no errors, but also nothing's gonna happen. I heard of Unreal. I'm afraid of using it because everyone hates Epic Games. I don't think you'd get in trouble for that. You're fine to use Unreal Engine. You're not gonna get Epic flack for that. Still getting loaded on them, so that means I couldn't get Vortex. That's fine. And also, yeah, there's some weird logic here. Where did give the stone? If we put the stone away, it should go to nil, but that goes to. Takes a bit of time to pick up. Most code is composed of the same basic structures. Use the tool that works. If you're making a game for you, it doesn't matter. If you're making a game to sell, the game is more important than the engine. Vocal majority tends to be the minority of players. I use Unreal and Blueprints, would definitely recommend checking out at least. There you go. There you go. So I had 16. Option 2, target 18. 16. Option 2. I see, that's why. Interesting bug. Gotta be careful with that shenanigans. I think I'll go for it. I do 3D for a living, but I want to do something cool like game dev. Yeah, I would say, like what Fletcher said, use the tool that works, leverage your skills, stuff like that, you know, cliches. Why does that do that? The genome, don't need you anymore. Underworld. Fletcher's working on a remake of 789, which is the best game ever. Had a decently working waypoint system. We're reworking the UI. Added a few stupid enemies to the game in the end. That's good. Don't think you've started working on 789 yet, but soon. So if we try to give you the stone, nothing happens. Skeleton key, nothing happens. So that shouldn't happen. Oh, he took the stone. I see. No to games in Unity for about 18 months, but never finished any to software dev at the moment. Last Talker said plans to go back to game dev, making his game in 2 different engines to get an idea of the workflow before settling on one. So you're doing it in default, and what's the other one? Out of 100%, what amount of time does art, code, and music take? That really depends on what kind of game you're making. For Fates of War, I have the most work, but that's because I'm doing story as well. The story and writing is going to be massive. So it's a hard question to answer, to be honest. So it's hard for me to split out what is code and what is like, does this count as code? Because this is kind of the story. Like, this isn't really programming, this is just making sure the logic is consistent. I guess we don't want that. We do want that. Even then, depends on the skill of the artist. Write code that, for example, Water Talk could bash out quality song 10 times faster than top version, so for him music may be less efficient. That's true. Crude Castle! Salting the earth. Thank you very, very much. Let's get Autobrush hyped up in here. It's you and Kayla have just smashed the bits today. Thank you very, very much. Really, really appreciate that. And yeah, what Fletcher's saying about Watery Tart, like, he is... I'm so impressed. Like, don't tell him this, but I'm so impressed with how good he is at making music. He is just boshing out songs so fast and so good. It's crazy. Yeah, Kayla. Hello, is your mic worse? It shouldn't be. Why is it not sounding good? What does everyone else think? Why wouldn't we tell them that? I was making a reference to The Office. Is Michael Scott commenting on Pam's art or something like that? And he says, don't tell her this, but she's really talented or something like that. In the trailer, the music was overpowering. Don't know if it's a good thing. It's that song isn't. That was only made for the trailer, and it's kind of different to the rest of the soundtrack. I think that's a good song, but it's not as good as the rest of the soundtrack. I knew it. Just tried finding that scene. Nice. I do love The Office. It's really good. It's weird that I don't know what's wrong with the mic. Hopefully next time I stream is just going to be fine. If it's not, if any of you remember this, next time I stream, which will be on Monday probably, could you please tell me if it's still bad, and then we'll do some deeper diving. I'm hoping a reboot will do it. Okay, thank you. Wee. Put the stone away. Okay, so we need to add the avatar. Snap, it's the game. Huh? No, back to the code. Hey, the code is necessary to make this shenanigans happen, you know? I thought that episode was cringe otherwise. Nimai, with the way Michael was treating that kid. Like, ooh. Not as bad as Scott's Tots though. Nothing will ever come close, but as of right now, I'm just working on getting some healthy routines into my life, but it's not unthinkable that I will. I'm a bit needy in getting response from other opinions other than my own. Really happy to hear about your healthy routines and stuff. I don't understand what you mean by needing getting response from other opinions other than my own. Right, so we need the Skeleton Princess, which was new. Do I have the Skeleton King? I'll chuck him in anyway. Scott's Tots was the worst. Yeah, I'm like, that is high level cringe. It is tough. I guess that's fine. Bone Collector Stone. What do you think of Godot? I haven't tested it myself, but I've heard good things from other people that use it. Wait, is this Unity? No, it's Default. Definitely put that first. I'm completely upset on that spectrum. I spend 75% of my time sitting on my ass, the other 25% lying in bed. If I've thrown you a follow on this account, so I get notified if you do. Oh yeah, I forgot you've cycled through like 6 accounts since Creepcastle was streaming. I'm just running 6.5 kilometers 2 times a week and doing 2 days of insanity training, cardio and core, cleaning my apartment, etc. Healthy stuff. That's awesome. I mean, I hate running, but like the exercise is good. So if I'm slow, if dialogue target, okay, so if dialogue ID is equal to Bone Collector 16 and dialogue target is equal to nil, then stone shown but not given. Because that's just weird when he like tells you what you're doing. I think. Oh, I should also add the avatar because it'll look weird. Hello, Mango. I love your name because I just want to, like, I caught myself there, but I want to say, hey, Mango. And I'm like, I see what you did there. Duplicate, I guess. So then I show him the stone. Put the stone away. It's not taken, is it? Stone away. On dialogue ID 15, the option ID was nil. Oh wait. $16. Two. Options 2 or dialogue. Okay, that's weird. That is strange. You can just give him the bones. Then we produce the stone, put it away. He doesn't want to talk at all. Is that because we haven't added this new version, I guess? So get in the bones. So the only thing I messed up there was I tell him to trigger it, which is the one. I just wanted to update the one that comes up next time. So that's cool. That's done. So next up is, why don't we need to add the skeleton princess. I think we have the graphics for her yet, so we'll add that in. Graphics, Nipicus. And just any character like Judge. Does she walk? That's kind of my bad. I shouldn't have asked for that, I think. Oh well. We good. So okay, I'll take one that the gnome. Oh, that's weird. This is my last update GIF of the game I worked on about a year ago now. Is that orders? I think you're dishing out orders to them. Yeah, and then they do the thing. That is pretty cool. It looks complicated, it looks like a lot of work. Heck yeah, I'm just gonna do this. It had RTS mode and planning mode. Construct is not a friend of awesome lights. I tried to make them look as realistic as I could get them. Lighting and stuff is something I need to learn. No, next to nothing about it. One sec, I'm gonna put a beer in the fridge if there isn't one. I think there isn't one. I'm gonna check if there's beer in the fridge. Thanks. Alright. Time to go put some meat in the oven, and remember, if you can quote a famous phrase from Romeo and Juliet, then Top Price will freestyle rap for you. Thankfully, nobody that watches this has any culture, so I'm safe. What's this thing? Anything that says... Romeo, where that Romeo, a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. I don't. There's no way to verify this, so. Is there any hacker that walks without? It's annoying that he does this differently. God damn it. Well, let me do a little rap. My name is Top Braj, better than Nicki Minaj. You won't catch me getting sweaty when I'm working on this spaghetti. That's my rap. Did you learn to code yourself? Yes. Thanks, Fletcher. I mean, this is really useful now, but it would have been good if this is the way it was before. Of course, the clip system refuses to work now. No! What a shame. Oh. Ow. Okay, so we've got that. You look good, or at least you're there. I'm just gonna copy the vortex from the temple. Don't need the atlas. We don't need the sprite, I think. The globe, not. Copy, not. The script, I don't know. Oh. Oh, it's working. That's surprising. Spirits, not gonna bother. So this is just gonna be I want the underworld particle effects. But loads of them. Particle blob. Add 5, 4. 1.1, 0.5, and 1.1. Low-key mood at the beginning and the end, you'd make a great rapper. Sup, just gonna drop a rap. Nice. Thanks, Fletcher. Appreciate that. Actually, so we want, can we like rotate that? No, that doesn't do anything. Huh, that's interesting. Whoa, so it is doing it in 3D space. That's pretty mental, I think. Is that radio bin? Nah, that's fine. This. Oof, that's pretty hefty stuff. Do we want to use this? Maybe. Yeah, probably. Underworld something? Don't know which one. I'm just gonna say field. Anyone else getting a migraine? No, do you think it's infectious? Wait, did I start editing that? Yeah, fine. Hope you don't get a migraine though, because that would suck. Morning, Slater. I have this weird thing where when the rain is allowed to get migraines, like the drops slapping on the roof, that is kind of sucky. Yikes, wrapped. I deliver. I deliver. Invest in some noise cancelling headphones. Yeah, that might be a good idea. Although it might be like the weather that's doing it. I'm sure Nicki Minaj ain't got booty like you do, Top Rush. That is true. It's one of a kind. Could not find component sprite spin. Well, that's a problem, innit? It's a cool song. How did I do that? Johnny Ree, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome. I just want to see how this looks. Is that so much to ask? Apparently. There we go. At least it's running now. It's too wide. It's like that rotation's probably not very cool. cone, but the emitter size is just determined by the IM. Queen size altar bed, hell yeah. Then we need that's probably about as far as everything needs to go. We do need some kind of glow, I think. How big should that be? If that's the size of that is 50, I think that would be 25 then. And then double it. I'm not sure. I'm also not sure it should be 50 wide. Yeah, probably, because that's kind of what we did with the other glow, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to make a 50 by 50 oval. And then fill it and then export it. Well, we're gonna squish it once we're done filling it. So we're looking for, I'm just gonna steal the colors from the actual map because that's a pretty good idea, right? I would guess. Is it the field that's the one we're looking for? No. That leads to river, which leads to lakes, which is the entrance. I don't know if it should be white or darker. Maybe will look better with white, but I don't know. To check objects. Okay. big was that? 80 by 30, so it's way bigger, but that might be fine still. We'll just check this out and see. Toggle vortex true. Sprite glow enable. That should be by default. And it'll be called something different. That's weird. Yeah, it's not showing up. Z position all messed up. Yeah, that doesn't look good at all. That would like have to be actually way darker, I think. Yeah, I think that sprite is set to add, which maybe looks good, maybe doesn't. I'm gonna try both, see. That looks kind of amateurish at the moment. Too much camera shake. Also, let's try it with add. Multiply, is that dark? Maybe that looks good when I'm going for a dark effect. Don't know. It looks alright, but it's nothing to do with that. It just looks like I've exported a dark one. I don't like the... It does need to fade out, I think. I'll make it slightly bigger. How's the day going? Hey Krub, day's going good. I'm gonna have to wrap it up soon though, because I'm going for a drink with my wife. But yeah, it's going pretty good. Got some stuff done. Pretty exhausted, so I haven't been like properly focused, but actually this is turning out not bad. I might make that even larger. Let's see. How are you doing, group? Good, things started to quiet down, that's nice. That doesn't go there. Doesn't go there at all. Just don't know if I don't think the multiplier really works. This is decent. It probably needs some work. Maybe when some graphically minded people hang out in chat, they could give me some ideas, but it's decent. It's pretty intimidating, like better than the other Vortex. Alright, who should I raid here? Oof, that just got hit with and dry eyes. I have to come up with an asset list and then go asset hunting for some reason. I'm not looking forward to it, 3D model assets. And I feel you. I got to do sound effects, which is mostly going to be like finding sound effects, and it's coming up with which ones to use and stuff. That's pretty hefty. So yeah, don't envy you that task. Yeah, this looks pretty cool. Actually looks better zoomed out, interestingly enough. Could get more of the effect upwards. It'd be like this. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm happy. The inside should be like stronger. Well, in the middle of it, it will trigger. You won't be able to stand like in it like I'm doing right now, because it'll just trigger a transition to the underworld immediately. But yeah, I feel like maybe I should make another set of particles coming in the middle that are like that don't have any spray, just like very tight in the middle. That might actually look pretty good. So I'll experiment more with it. It's definitely not finished. It was just kind of, I guess, yeah, it's a good start. Call it that. Anyway, that'll have to be me for today. So I'll be back on Monday. I wish you all an excellent weekend. Thank you very, very much to Kayla and Crude Castle. Both gave me loads of bits today, which is really appreciated and really helps keep me afloat. So that's awesome. Hey, A-Night. Just as I'm finishing up. It's good to see you, man. Thanks, Crude. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. It started pretty weak, but I think it's better. Yeah, you know, I'm taking Kat out for a drink. She's about to finish work, so I need to go. FML. Over and over. I guess maybe I stopped streaming just when you're like, you'd be like there to see it. Actually, Kat's gonna be away soon for work, so for like a month. So my stream schedule is probably gonna change during that time. Like some nights I'll maybe like stream super late and something, and that might work for your schedule. That would be pretty good, because I'd like to talk to you. So if that works better for you, that would be awesome. So she's going away after next week. So, and I'm planning on working really hard for the next month because I need to finish this son of a gun. So yeah. Anyway, 24/7 streams? No, thank you. That would kill me. I'm like actually like so sleep deprived right now. Anyway, it was great to see you, A-Night. It was short but sweet. 7 streams. 24 hours each. I see, yeah. I mean, I can sleep when I'm dead, right? Anyway, have an excellent weekend, everybody. And hopefully see you on Monday if you're around. Thank you for hanging out with me.